And we're going to be talking about getting your book to the world, meaning a publishing aspect and a marketing aspect of your book. Just to tell you a little bit about me, I grew up in San Jose, California, and half of my city was Mexican American, I would guess. But I didn't really learn any Spanish. I learned a few words, a few phrases, but then I served in LDS mission in South America. The Spanish has really paid off for me in my work, in my writing, in my friendships, and I'm going to tie that in a little bit later. But I studied, my undergraduate was in journalism, and while I was at school, when I should have been doing my homework, I was getting story ideas, scribbling them down, setting them aside and thinking, well, when I'm old and retired, maybe I'll get published. What happened was, I joined, I believe it was the League of Utah Writers, and I walked around with my manuscripts in my hands, and I tried to meet people, and I'd say, does anybody have an agent? Does anybody know how to get these published? And one gentleman there, he had published a series of books, and so he liked one of the manuscripts, and he said, I'll publish it. So he arranged an illustrator, he did all the legwork for ISBN, and we'll talk about what those are, and set everything up, and the day we were going to print, he died. That was my introduction to the publishing world, because I had to take over what he was doing. The marketing, the publishing, homepage groups, all that, I had to learn. And while it was tragic, it was also a really life-changing experience for me because of what I learned. So I hope you're excited to be here. What I want to do is hopefully save you time, money, and learn how to get your book into decision makers' hands, into the readers' hands who they're meant for. Who here wants to learn anything? Okay, great. So George Mallory, when asked why he climbed Mount Everest, does anybody know what he said? You could guess. He said because it was there. Is that why you buy books? Because they're there. Why do people buy books?
Entertainment.
Escape, entertainment. To learn. Has anyone ever bought a book and not read it? Did you plan on not reading it when you bought it? No. Why do we buy books and not read them? Time and interest. Because if we were really interested, we would make time, wouldn't we? I think we would. So let's market books that people won't forget to read. Okay? And let's get them into decision makers' hands. What have you learned makes a book magnetic? What makes a book powerful and that it grabs you and you start reading as soon as you get out of the bookstore? The cover. What else?
Author.
The hook? Yeah. The topic. Okay, recommendation from someone you know.
Yeah.
Maybe not someone you know personally, but maybe someone you respect. A review magazine. Let's keep these things in mind as we're preparing our manuscript or as we're preparing our marketing plan. And what's the number one thing that you need to know to get your book to the right people? 2 words. Yeah, you guys know this.
Target audience.
Audience. And then the other thing is your genre. In order to prepare a book or a manuscript that's going to be read, you need to know who you want to read it. Okay? And what's the genre that they're always grabbing? So, does my message, does my character resonate with this target audience, with their genre? And you all know about show instead of tell, shorten your sentences, shorten your paragraphs, use smaller words sometimes, try to involve all the sentences. Make sure your ending is just wow, so they want your next book that day, that minute. So those are things that are covered in other sessions here. But we're going to talk about beyond that, beyond the writing. You want to get feedback from 20 readers. If you're not already a member of the League of Utah Writers, I encourage you to join, because your chapter meeting and there are 20 readers. And how do you get them to read your manuscript? They're willing usually, but they'll want you to read theirs too. They'll want you to give feedback. And this feedback is so much more helpful than mom's feedback or your sister's feedback, right? Also, if they like your manuscript, they will promote your work. So getting feedback from 20 people is absolutely important. And then of course, rewriting. Does anybody know a successful published author who wrote one draft and then published and never touched it again? It's just part of the job, right? Okay, we all know about paying an editor, so everybody understands that that's really important. And then off it goes to the publisher or the agent, and then you don't have to do anything else, right? So I just want to contrast traditional self-publishing and e-publishing briefly. If you know which one you're in love with, I think even if it's this method and you don't want to consider any other, I think this information I'm going to give you will still be helpful. Of course, the big publishers offer prestige. They have access to great distribution, not only in the country, but perhaps worldwide. The drawbacks are they control the money, they control the content, they make promises about marketing and don't always fulfill them. So this was the first book that first publisher set up for me. I wanted to do it bilingual and he didn't, so I republished it bilingual with a pronunciation guide. And then another local publisher asked me to write a true story nonfiction about an immigrant child. So that's how Anna's Prayer came out. And based on my 2 experiences with publishers, I published the rest of my 17 books myself. So, am I sharing my opinion? Yes. Many top sellers are independently published. And, you know, a lot of us still have day jobs, but these independent publishers are really making a mark. And often the big publishers will come to them after they've had success and say, hey, we want some of your money, so would you like to sign on with us? And sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. Okay, so things to avoid. Publishers you pay. Now there are legitimate things that you pay for, editors, designers. Those people should expect to be paid. But if someone says that they are a publisher and want to publish your work, but you have to pay them, that's not what you want. And you won't get what you paid for. You'll be cheated. Avoid your dentist cousin who also edits. Why do I say that? Okay, really good. This was the clue. If he's dedicated his life to something else, editing is probably not his priority. It's probably not the best. Be frugal, but don't be an amateur. What do I mean by that? Sure.
Be willing to pay for things you need.
Be willing to pay for things that you need. You can save money also. There are some things you can do that we're going to talk about that are free, like free publicity. So those things don't make you look like an amateur necessarily. But some things where you think you've made this great savings also declare to the world, I'm an amateur. So understand what's worth paying for, like an editor. Design. This is something you want to pay for. Okay? Pay for a cover, pay for interior design. People are often surprised to hear that the design of the interior of a novel with no pictures, is there design involved in that? There actually is. And where to put the page numbers. Those things the designer knows, which font to use. Even your spine should be professionally designed. So where do you find designers or illustrators?
Outsource.com. That's one.
Find out who your covers you already like.
Yes, get referrals. That's really big. Get referrals. If you see a book that looks really well done, contact the author or the publisher. You know, who did this? Fiverr.com is a budget website where you pay $5, $10, $15, $25 for something. You might Google Illustrators Association. I teach digital design at night. had a student bring me a book cover that she made with stock photo. It was a great photo, super image. She's a great designer. She has this wonderful font, typeface. She has it all laid out beautifully. Like within a week, one of my friends who's here at the conference published a book with that same image. These are two people that I know, just here in Utah, use that stock image. So that's the danger with stock images. If you can, get a designer or an illustrator to do your art. LinkedIn has groups of illustrators also that you can join. There's writers and illustrators that kind of connect people. You can ask universities if there are students. BYU has a web page for design and illustration students who are looking for work and looking for jobs. But referrals are always great, but referrals of good artists. You do definitely, whenever possible, want original art, or if you're using clip art, it's got to be in the public domain. If you paid for it, that means you have the right to use it, but they will often, even with free public domain artwork, there will often be stipulations like this can be used for free except for commercial use. So that wouldn't work for your book. Okay, so work for hire versus a royalty or a percentage. Work for hire means that you're buying the art and you own it. It's like you created it. A royalty, so even if you pay your artist a royalty or a percentage of sales, you still need to get a signed agreement from them that gives you the right to publish that work. Royalties, though, they may want to retain ownership, but give you publishing rights. Either way, you should have rights to publish. You pay them either royalties or work for hire flat. Set up your business. Okay, so some nuts and bolts. You want to name your business something germane to either your books or the genre or the publishing house. You want it to be relevant to what you're publishing. Like I have multicultural books. Make sure that your name is germane. Get a P.O. box for your business or set up an official business address. Get a tax ID from irs.gov. Get a business license or reseller license from utah.gov. Hopefully it will be your company name. So I own premiopublishing.com, which is my company. So these should reflect the nature of your books. When you have one book, think about other books that you would like to write in the future. Think about the genre in general and try to make a name that will pertain to even future publications. So on your website, you want to have search engine optimization, which used to mean keywords. Usually it means key phrases now. So like a key phrase on mine would be multicultural children's book. And metadata. Metadata can involve keywords and can also involve like the name of the author, ISBN numbers, just other data that people might search for in order to find you or your books. Again, you may want to pay to have a web designer who understands metadata and search engine optimization set up your website. Who here sells books on Amazon? Okay. Who here who sells books on Amazon also has a website for the book? Good. Do you find that you sell more books on your own personal website? No. I sell far more books on Amazon than I do on my site, but I have my website so that people can find me. So if anybody ever does a Google search for why Vaughn can't sleep or for Karl Beckstrand, they'll find my site and they'll have the descriptions and it'll give information. Sure, they can buy from my site. People tend to buy from sites they trust. I don't know about you, but I'm perfectly fine with someone reading about my books on my site and buying on Amazon. I'm okay with that. Establish a brand. What does a brand entail? You want your brand to represent you in the best positive light. Now, in a session where I was attending just a moment ago, they talked about branding yourself, and they spoke about your reputation. Branding can have that connotation, but the original meaning of your brand was from branding an animal, hot brand, fire brand the animal. So it involves a logo, it involves a font, colors that you always use on all your stationery, on all your business cards, a certain color scheme. And these graphics, specific typeface, and colors should be on everything that you have, your business cards, your website, your stationery. They should all be consistent. And if they are, then you have a brand. Okay. But then, yes, it can also be your personality, your reputation, but that's kind of an expanded definition of brand. Okay? Do you have questions on what branding is?
Different than platform,
Yes, it is a little bit. Your platform can be your mission in life, your cause. Your platform, your mission, could be a slogan that's on all of your business cards. Bank account. Set up a separate bank account for your business. Because we're doing this not out of charity, right? Hopefully at least to get our money back and ideally to make a living, right? Contact distributors. We'll talk a little bit more about them in a moment. But be prepared. Distributors typically want 40 to 60% of the sale price of your book. And it's a sacrifice you're just going to have to make if you want good distribution. But you can haggle, as I do. Set up storage, shipper, and inventory management. However, I'm telling you to do this, but with a caveat. Why would I tell you to set up storage, a shipper, and inventory management?
Otherwise, it's sitting in your house and you have to do it all?
Yeah, you can have a garage full of books. And if you're fulfilling orders and you're not tracking that stuff, or if you're sending books out and you're not paying attention to the FedEx charge that's more than the person paid you for the book, you're going to have real problems. We're going to actually talk about avoiding storage and even some shipping charges. Okay, so we'll get into that. Speaking of our dentist cousin, what might we avoid in this category? Avoid your dentist cousin who also does websites on the side. Book elements. So who can tell us what ISBN means?
International
International
sales
Standard.
book number or standard book number?
Anyway, the identifying number for all books that are legitimate. You will find on Amazon books for sale that don't have an ISBN. So,
or like ebooks for it.
actually, ebooks can have ISBN, and it's helpful to have. We'll talk about that. So you definitely want an ISBN. You can buy them from Bowker.com. I think 10 costs like $200. But CreateSpace.com will sell you one for $10, or they'll give you one for free. What will happen is if you do print on demand through them and you receive a free ISBN, they will put their name on your book. But that doesn't mean you don't have the rights to your book. You will always have the publishing rights to your book unless you sign them away, which you don't do with Amazon's CreateSpace. Smashwords.com will upload your ebook files to all the major platforms, and you can get an ISBN specific to your ebook through Smashwords. There's other sources. Lightning Source will do print on demand with ISBN as well, I believe. So don't worry about losing the rights to your book if you accept a free ISBN from Amazon's CreateSpace. LCCN is for libraries, library catalogs. It helps them find your book. Another one is the CIP, catalog in print. You do want an LCCN. You may not need a CIP. The CIP number is for large publishing houses, and it's expensive to get. Copyright.gov is where you can request an LCCN. It's just a number. They're going to email it to you in about a week, and you just put it into your book file on the copyright page. And that helps librarians find it. We'll talk about applying for a copyright in a moment, but once you write it, it belongs to you. You're going to still want to go through the process we'll discuss. EAN barcode. You can get a barcode. There are barcode generators online that will put your price and your ISBN together in those lines on the back of the book. Amazon's CreateSpace does it for you. But if you print elsewhere, then you'll want to get that barcode. So how do you set the price of your book? How do you know what to charge? Compare similar books. It's a great idea. I've heard the cost of printing times 8, but you can spend a lot on printing in the United States. I think this book would cost you $4 or $5 to print in the United States. I think when I printed in Asia, I was paying like 50 cents a book. It's probably more than that. But So 50 cents a book times 8 might work out for a reasonable price for this. But $4 times 8, nobody's going to pay that. Why would you print on demand? There's local printers who will charge you like $4 a book. There's print on demand who will charge you about $3.50 for this book. I think for this book, $2.50. And then there's volume printing, which you can do here in the United States for a premium or in Asia for a lot cheaper. They all have their purpose. I had a demand for bad bananas, and I didn't have time to send files to Asia and wait weeks, months to get a shipment from Asia. So I had to spend a little bit extra on printing and have a local printer do a run for me on the book. And so it's a stopgap measure. You're going to pay extra, but if you have an order or if there's demand, then you use your local printer. Volume printing is the ideal, cheapest way. You can do volume printing in the United States, but you'll pay about half if you print in Korea or Taiwan or China. The wonderful thing about print on demand is you never touch the book. You upload book files to createspace.com or lightningsource.com. The book doesn't exist, it's just a file. The customer clicks on it on Amazon, they print it, they ship it to your customer, and they pay you, and you never touch it. It's not as cheap as volume printing, but it's convenient. Things that are going to be in your book, more reasons to have a professional designer. Your front cover, you've already told us, that's important. When you're selecting a book, the front cover needs to be professionally done and it needs to grab you. What kinds of things are going to be on the front cover? What elements?
Title, name of the book.
Author, other contributor maybe, awards won. That's always nice to have on your book. Or
Also, if it's the first, second, or third.
Printing or edition. A blurb from a quote. You may not have an entire quote on the front cover, but a blurb maybe. And then your title page will have many of those similar things. And then your copyright page, we started to talk about. Your copyright page is going to have your company name, your location or the location of printing, USA. Even though I printed in China, my books were all published in the USA because I'm a publisher. You're going to have limitations of use. You're going to have the copyright symbol, and then you're going to have a blurb that says, all rights reserved, no portion of this book may be copied except by a reviewer, that kind of thing. You can find those blurbs online. Of course, you're going to include your ISBN and your LCCN on the copyright page. Other things the designer will help you with, setting up your table of contents. I made one. It wasn't easy. Your chapter headings, your page numbers, your cut lines. The cut lines are captions below photographs or images. Image credits are who painted the painting or who took the photograph. So you're always going to want to do attribution for those things. Dedication and acknowledgments page. You're going to have, especially for nonfiction, an index or bibliography. You're going to attribute your sources, and you're going to want permission. An attribution is not sufficient protection in your book. If you are quoting someone or using their work, just saying where you got it is not sufficient protection. You need permission. Okay. And you're going to want to verify that everything's accurate, especially in those categories. Cut lines, image credits, sources. And in the back of your book, you might have an order form. Or you could even put in a request that the reader read and comment online about your book. I mean, the answer is always no if you don't ask, right? Okay, so back to printing. Just like with designers, we're going to ask for recommendations for printers. Who printed your book? It looks great. Find out. There may be a local printer who's cheaper than the others, but who still does a good job. You're going to want to research CreateSpace and Lightning Source. So Lightning Source is also print on demand. Request price quote and samples from a printer. Even in South Korea or Taiwan or Hong Kong, the printer will send, they're legitimate, they will send you samples. I had a printer in Asia send me a book that was filled with knockoffs from Disney characters. So what did that tell me about that particular printer? but I didn't want to work with them because they had no idea of proprietary content. They were working with an artist that was stealing Disney stuff, and they had no problem publicizing that. But samples will give you an idea of the quality of the finishing, the thickness of their covers, the thickness of the paper, a really important thing. Once you find a printer that you want to work with, you'll want to relate to them the number of books you're going to print, the number of pages in each book, the thickness of the paper. There's other paper stipulations that you may give them. Whether or not the cover is hard or soft, the binding, the dimensions of the book, the number of illustrations, the interior ink, the cover, whether it's 2-color or 4-color, the finishing. There's sometimes varnish or lamination and other cover options. All of these things are going to affect the price. The quote that your printer gives you. You're going to ask for a quote before you say go ahead and print. After you give these details, in fact, he cannot give you an accurate quote or estimate without this data. If he does, you can't take it very seriously. It's going to need this data in order to give you a quote that's reasonable, fairly accurate. Ask the printer what kind of file types you want. Does he want PDFs? Does he want you to upload things to his FTP site? Does he want a CD email to him or her? So you're going to ask them how they want to receive those files. And then you're going to request approve. Key point. Everybody say this. Request approved.
Request approved.
What's going to happen if you don't?
Oh my gosh. You can't believe the mistakes you've made.
Like this book. My second book. Misspelled word in Spanish. Did not catch it until the mass printing. So, request approved, and then proofread it. Triple check your data, your attribution. Make a revisions file. You can be as careful as possible, and when you get your proof, you're going to find something that needs to be changed. So make a file of things that you want to do differently. Plus, it'll give you an opportunity to add reviews you've received and any awards. Add that to your cover before printing in quantity in mass. While you're waiting for your mass printing, make ebook files. Smashwords can tell you how to do that. TradeSpace can tell you how to do that. And these cross-promote. My sales actually were flat in 2010. In 2011, I started making these ebooks, and they cross-promoted, and my sales just started going up. It was great. We've talked about volume printing just recently, but hopefully you won't have to do that unless you have big orders. Print on demand and ebook sales, like I say, print on demand, you never test the book, and ebook sales can give you an idea of demand before you ever decide to do a volume mass printing of books. Okay, so just by having print on demand option for physical and ebook option for ebooks, you can find out how much interest there is before you spend a lot of money and fill your garage with books. Okay, once you get your books, send 2 to the Copyright Office. There's a form online you can fill out. Send 1 to the Library of Congress. Same address, different entities, 3 books. Ask questions along the way. Learn from what's going on. Shrink wrap your books. Ask them to shrink wrap them to protect them from scuffing. Don't get boxes heavier than 25 pounds when you get your shipments. Ask them to do it in boxes 25 pounds or less, because they can get damaged the heavier they are. Ask for extra covers and dust jackets or dust jackets. Why would you do that?
Doesn't make a damage.
Put them up on the wall when you paint, when you're selling books.
Okay, you can use them for marketing purposes. You can mail dust jackets and extra covers to publicists, to bookstores. Also, things get damaged, so you can replace covers with dust jackets. Ask to print bookmarks on the side of the covers, so they're going to have extra space on the cardstock or whatever they're using for your cover. Ask them if they'll add bookmarks to that same printing to save you some money. Okay, marketing. This is the key. How much time should you spend marketing? As much as you can. Ask me how much time I spend marketing.
50%?
50% of my time is spent marketing. If you want to be successful, that's what you got to do. You may want to just sit and write, but you may have these great books and no one will ever get to read them because you're not marketing. Develop a laser-focused plan for your target audience. You've got to have them in mind. Google marketing personas. it'll help you develop a single person who is representative of your target audience. It'll give them, you can make them with a name, their demographics, what they do for a living, what their hobbies are, and the more specific you make that persona, the better your marketing plan will be. You want this laser-focused plan to set you apart and create curiosity and excitement for your book. Okay, can you summarize your plot in 1 to 2 riveting sentences? This is critical because editors, publishers, agents don't have a lot of time to read through a long description of your book. And my distributors even ask me to give very short blurbs that summarize the whole book. So this one, it's a man and a woman clash in a Nevada silver rush scheme that leaves both unsure who to trust and scrambling to stay alive. Very short synopsis. You're not giving away the ending, but if you can get 1 to 2 riveting sentences, that's kind of your marketing hook. That's what you could put in your summary letter. Include the benefits, not the features. Who knows the difference between benefits and features?
Not me.
Okay. So if I do have a cookbook. It's not a diet book, but say this is a diet book. Well, a feature would be includes healthy recipes, or this will teach you how to make healthy food. A feature. But a benefit is this book will give you the body you've always wanted. You want to use benefits over features. Put your summary letter in your press kit, your biography, fact sheet, genre, ages, images, prices, dimensions, ISBN, all this data on your fact sheet. Have a press release. Again, get a professional to write your press release. Have them use your keywords, your metadata. I want to distinguish between wholesale price and retail price in your fact sheet when I'm order them. Some you'll send to schools and nonprofits. The retail you'll send to distributors and retailers. Brainstorm germane organizations, associations, businesses. Send them press kits, marketing copies. Distributors, Baker and Taylor I mentioned, Quality Books is another. Send these, your press kit, your summary letter, to agents and publicists as well. Booksellers, libraries, press magazines, schools, clubs, government buyers, non-book retailers, all want to see the data of your book before it's out. They want to see the book, they want to see proofs. If they want this information beforehand, why? To decide if they want to do anything about it. If they want to distribute your books or bring it into their library or their bookstore. Books often sell better in non-bookstore venues. Take this to Bed Bath & Beyond. See if they'll carry it there. And if they did carry it, I bet it would sell better than the Barnes & Noble because it's not competing with other books. Another key for success is getting reviews. Midwest Book Review is free. Reader's Favorite is free. Forward Reviews has a free option, but they also charge for another kind. Amazon, look up the Amazon top 100 reviewers. Find the ones in your genre. Send them an email. You have clout. I would love for you to review my book with a summary sentences that will grab them. So if you give your book away for free on Kindle, these are sites where you can publicize that. Tell everybody about your book before it comes out. Everybody you know. Ask them for comments, sincere comments online. Then you'll give them the ebook free for sincere comments online. Track everything, follow up. This may be the most important one as you get today. Reviews equals sales. Okay, another gem is media equals free publicity. Send your press kit to all the stations you can think of and to organizations that are germane to your book. KarlBeckstrand.com/extra.php. You need the .php. And that should have just about all the notes here. Let's make a commitment. I will take responsibility for the marketing of my book for 2 years without getting discouraged. Is everybody willing to do that? I will take responsibility for marketing my book for 2 years without getting discouraged. It's been great to be with you. I'm happy to answer questions. I'm going to be signing books for the next hour down. Thank you for letting me come.